Welcome to the Antlered podcast, where we will discuss brews, witchcraft, spirituality, and more.
Did you say brooms?
Brews.
Oh, all right.
You knew what I said. I have to do it again because you wanted me to do it again.
No,
That's
we
your way
hope
of
through
doing it.
conversation we can continue the trend of the collective awakening or learn something new from ourselves and each other.
Today, we will be drinking some beer.
Or coffee.
You're drinking coffee. I'm drinking
Yeah,
Dragon's Milk Stout.
and then we're going to talk more about chaos magic.
So come on in.
Beyond the weather and the marsh, there is a whisper in the dark through the tides of disarray, where wisdom knows the way. If you listen very still, there are answers to the earth, where the ancient pulses deep of the memories you keep.
Welcome to the Antlered Crown podcast. I'm Elwyn, and I'm a fourth generational witch.
And I'm Amanda, the moderator, and I'm here to cause
Chaos.
Yes, I did say.
So, as we said, we're doing it again for some reason. But we're going to be drinking. I'm drinking beer, Dragon's Milk Stout,
I'm drinking coffee.
coffee that you reheated in the microwave.
Yep, it was old coffee from the percolator this morning.
Yeah,
And
good stuff.
it tastes pretty gross, I'm not gonna lie, but it's doing the job. It's keeping me awake.
If it's doing the job.
I mean, just for some context for parents who are out there, we just got rid of pacifiers from our house, so
Dummies.
and bottles, and we're just on that survival train at this point.
Yes. It's hard.
Hence our context of drinks for this episode. But
We're very busy people.
to our future selves, we hope it's better. We hope you're less tired.
Future Elwyn, I talk directly to you now. Why didn't you run? No, I'm joking.
Damn, babe.
I'm joking. I didn't mean you.
Wow.
I meant the children.
All right.
Demonic love spawn.
Mm.
Now, anyways, what is chaos magic? For that is the subject.
Yeah. It was first developed in England in the 1970s, drawing heavily from the philosophy of artist and occultist Austin Osman Spare. He is sometimes referred to as success magic or results-based magic. Chaos magic claims to emphasize the attainment of the specific results over the symbolic, ritualistic, or theological, or otherwise ornamental aspects of other occult traditions. Chaos magicians subsequently treat beliefs as tools, often creating their own idiosyncratic magical systems and frequently borrowing from other magical traditions, religious movements, pop culture, and various strands of philosophy. So, thanks Wikipedia for that definition.
Great source there.
Yeah.
Personally, I've never had much stock in it.
No, really.
No, bunch of bloody beatniks.
You're a beatnik.
I am not.
Okay.
No, that's unfair to say. For any beatniks who are listening, well, for a start, it was 40 years ago.
Yeah, it's not that far away.
But it's this idea of we're going to change the world, we're going to change things around, and we're going to take, which is fine, take different things from other cultures. But you're missing, in my opinion, you're missing the spirit. You're missing the essence of that practice, that particular practice that you may be drawing a parallel to in your own. And I think you're shooting yourself in the foot.
Do you mean the ritualistic aspects of
not just ritualistic
traditional witchcraft?
When we say ritualistic, I find it very confusing, because when people say ritualistic, they think of athames and robes and swirly smoke and boobs hanging out, or that sort of thing.
Boobs hanging out.
Well, like the old black and white photos of stuff going on.
Yeah.
But to me, ritualistic is more to do with that state of mind. For instance, spinning yarn. Okay, very old form of kind of achieving a gnosis trance-like state. That to me, I would consider that ritualistic.
Right.
It is a thing, and the same form of knitting magic, where someone would knit, and they would knit a square, and every knit that they would do, they would say their will into that, and then they would throw it on a fire to burn.
Right.
That's a form of a ritual. It doesn't necessarily mean that there has to be long, lengthy words. Especially from as you know, my own studies of forms of like Cornish and folk magic. They weren't people like that. You just said what you said, very matter of fact, get to it. There wasn't airs and graces. So in that sense, I find ritual, when people talk about ritual magic, it's very confusing to me.
Yeah.
Because there are forms.
Do you mean
of
ritual in the sense of like traditions? Is that what you're trying to define? Like ritual versus like historical traditions that were practiced versus ritual in the sense like of what most people think when they hear ritual, like, the men's in robe and the boobs.
Yes, the boobs. The boobs in robes. Robes and boobs. Boobs. Why
would you ever put your boobs in a robe?
I don't know.
Let them fry free, ladies.
Fry
free.
Fry your boobs. Just fry them up.
Fried boobs. That's what this episode's called.
Bit of garlic, bit of butter.
Put little egg emojis.
Lovely stuff.
Oh no.
That itself is a ritual, isn't it? But we won't go into that one. Now,
people fry their boobs?
No, I don't know. I mean
sunburn.
Probably in Germany. I'm going to say Germany.
You go out on a French beach and
cut that bit out. I'm sorry for any German people.
I'm cutting it. No, I'm leaving it in.
Don't do that. It'll be in the boobs.
It'll be in the Patreon version.
Fair enough.
So what are some more important points in chaos magic?
Well, the idea in chaos magic is,
yeah,
as we were speaking of, no ritual necessary. However, once again, I don't fully deem that to be the case. But for the sake of argument here, we'll go with what we think of esoteric ritual as in, lots of la-di-das, airs and graces and all that nonsense.
Like high magic rituals.
Yes, high magic sort of stuff, all right? Do you want to take this? Oh,
well, I wanted to point out, too, that I think it's kind of having a resurgence, chaos magic, just simply because it's called chaos. Is that horrible to say? Like, I feel like it's kind of like a pop, like it said, it uses pop culture. It's like a trend.
Yes.
Where people are like, oh, I don't have to study. Well, not that you don't have to study as many things, but like chaos magic is very much what you make it. And traditional witchcraft and other practices, there is a lot of studying. It's a lot of research. It's a lot of more things to put into it. So maybe chaos magic is more popular again because you don't have to do as much of that. Like, it's just whatever you choose your practice to be.
See, that's the thing. This is what annoys me. Bunch of bloody beatniks. we can't be bothered to put the work in. We're just going to do it. No.
I mean, it sounds like the magic practice for me.
You are chaos, I mean. But I think that's the point being is that when you learn, I recently made a TikTok that said there is no such thing as traditional, like baseline traditional. That is lost. Okay?
Well, there's so many variations.
There's so many variations, but this is simply the way that personal preference evolves through that traditional learning. But the idea is you learn the traditions. You understand why certain things are used and the virtues and the spirits of place and the symbology of different things that you may use in your craft. And then you tweak it to make it better for you, to suit you better, because it has to suit you better. It can't suit you better than your granny or your aunt or your mother. What are you doing?
You're talking here.
Oh. I'll lean this way.
Yeah.
It has to suit you, never mind them. So in that sense, but you first have to understand what you're doing. You first have to understand why those people did it or try to.
Right.
And to me, chaos magic in that sense is just basically an excuse not to. As much as people want to break free from certain points in tradition, Tradition is necessary, not for the sake of tradition, but for the sake of understanding why you do the things you do, where it came from, and how it came about, to the best of your ability.
That's also the point people are making right now, I think, with... Let's bring politics into it, Amanda. With why we should keep historical racist statues versus why we should, remove them, because we are evolved past that. But some people say, oh, well, that's history. You need to know where you came from. And I think there's good arguments on both sides, but the evolution of it, you should look at where you are now.
That's the point.
And remove things that are offensive to you in your practice.
You can't
out of the equation.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I think the point of the statues is there something to see where you came from, but it does not mean you are that person.
Yeah, you don't need to be reminded of it.
I think the worry is that other people look at it and say they justify it by that. This is where I came from. So many people it's same thing when it comes to forms of racism, especially when it comes to misinformation, especially about esoteric arts. It all comes from what you were taught. Yeah. And it may not, most of the times it probably isn't a parent or family member, but it comes from someone who you perhaps knew as a friend or something. Right. They told you this, and therefore it's... And what with the internet being the internet
now,
chaos magic can be quite tricky. And as a matter of fact, chaos magic caused a lot of problems in the 70s.
Yeah.
When it first came about. Why? Because a load of beatniks were just experimenting experimenting with things that they didn't fully understand, and then they went off and became lawyers and got a proper life, and then
let
these things loose upon the world that they had done and created. You know what I mean. I didn't mean it like a proper, but you know what I mean.
No.
They didn't just sit around smoking drugs and making up mock revolutions.
OMG.
Whatever the kids do. Yeah.
Amanda, pause right here because I need to... my foot is stuck and it's falling asleep, and this is really painful, actually.
Why would you do that?
I'm stuck in there.
I'm going to clamp my leg between this chair.
Ow. Oh, it's asleep now. It's pins and needles.
Get a pillow.
Okay, Amanda. Editing back in. So, I mean, I think those are all good points. We're not saying you shouldn't be a chaos magic practitioner.
No, not at all.
No, we're not trying to hate on your practice.
No.
It's very suited to you. It's tailored to you, and it grows with you. So,
yeah,
please don't
That's the point
misunderstand.
I was saying, is that all magical practice grow with you. So that's the point, is although chaos magic almost seems like it's made in this way that's something you can make your own, all magic is like that. Almost all magic. There are some forms of very strict magic that follow a particular thing, and they have done for a very long time. But each to their own. Okay? Nothing against chaos magicians now. I'm talking more about the chaos magicians who first started it, all right? Especially, like, for instance, Austin Ozma Spare, who, threw subjective creativity into the esoteric. But we won't talk about that. Anyway.
They're just a slippery slope. They also, I know that chaos magicians lean towards mathematical equations. Oh, I couldn't do chaos magic then. And the science of magic, which is very cool, actually, in my opinion. I think the science of magic is very interesting.
It's more to do with probabilities than science. It's the law of
quantum mechanics.
For instance, chaos magic gives a wonderful example of how a spell can work. For instance, like if you were to win the lottery. Okay.
Yeah.
If you are going to try and use a spell to win the lottery, then the chances are relatively small. But that's because the chance that the number of likelihood of success was already very large. If you cut that number in half because you've done a spell, it's still a very large number.
Right.
All right. So that's that's kind of how chaos magic can work in that sense, and that's good. However, magic is simply science that we do not understand.
Right.
But as I've said before, I know how television works, but I don't know how to make one.
Yeah.
I don't need to know to use it.
Right.
And for me, that's enough.
Mm-hmm.
I've quite literally gone mad trying to figure out how things work sometimes when it comes to magic.
Right.
And I've come to the realization that it doesn't matter. There's some things that you will never understand in this form of existence. You can't.
Well, do you think what chaos magicians are trying to do is understand? Or are they just using what they know at the current moment to their benefit and dividing probabilities?
Oh, no. I think they're using what they know at the current moment. Definitely. I think that's the case. But just not for me. That's all. No hate, just not for me. It's not my way, it's all.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if I know any chaos magicians off the top of my head on TikTok.
There's the thing. Everyone at some point technically has practiced some form of chaos magic.
Right.
It's almost inescapable. That's the point, because it's the practicality of it. It's so simple.
Mm-hmm.
That you've probably used chaos magic before. I mean, the idea of manifesting through thought is chaos magic.
Right.
If you've ever drawn a sigil and burnt it, or put it in your wallet, or had something that's lucky that you carry around with you for some reason, it's pretty much chaos magic.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that brings up sigils then. So, chaos magicians use sigils and charge them in certain ways.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Say it.
They row the boat.
What? They go rowing.
They slap the stick.
What stick are you referring to, Amanda?
They swim into port.
They swim in the port. You're terrible. They choke the chicken. They shake the mango like a monkey in the tree. They coax the worm.
The cat.
Pet the cat.
They stroke the filly.
What on earth? You're really bad at this.
They comb the beard.
That's a different thing. Yes, long showers. So, now, we get where we're going with this. So, why do you think they do that? Apart from the fact they're all teenage beatniks.
I mean, it seems like if we're not practicing ritualistic high magic, so we're not learning how to charge things in an esoteric and a ritualistic way, which is, in my opinion, sitting down, visualizing, holding our hands over the object we're trying to charge, writing a sigil out. If we're not doing that, then it sounds like the next easiest way is just to spunk on it, I suppose.
Well, it's not just the spunk. The spunk itself is not
I don't want to learn all that.
Technically magical.
Let's just ejaculate.
You do have a point. You see, that's the thing. It's like, just nut on it. That's fine.
That sounds easier.
I could learn deep thought, meditation, try and focus energy and harness it through myself. No, I'll just wank. I mean, but I think the idea is that there is a build-up, well, as we know, but there is this build-up, there's this form of energy, and there is a release. It's a very powerful thing. There's a lot that chemically goes on in the brain during an orgasm.
Right.
And I think that the idea is that you hold that which you are trying to accomplish, and it's the idea of something being birthed, something sparking almost, as though, imagine like a small explosion of the Big Bang, the universe.
Well, when you're in that, when you're in that state, you're at your highest level of, what do you call it?
Well, highest or lowest, it depends on how you see it.
I suppose,
in that sense, there's two different forms of energy. Regardless, it doesn't really matter. The point is that is almost like a form of creation. Yeah. The pure manifestation of so much possibility. And they're charging with it. They're using it to create. which I'm not going to say it doesn't work. It works, yeah. But there's less messy ways. I think this.
Go get your sock, Johnny.
This sock is full of magic. It's so full of magic. Look, you can hold it up like that and it doesn't bend.
Oh, no.
Look at it. It's like a piece of cardboard.
Oh, God.
You can stand it up. Now.
Oh, no. Or you can exercise.
Or you can exercise if you're not that way inclined.
Yeah.
But don't use the same socks. No, but exercise brings the same thing. It is, once again, that release of something. You know, when you exercise, you feel good. There is that form of serotonin, but you feel like you've accomplished. You feel like you're ready. You feel more sprightly, more energetic. That in itself, same thing. It is this build-up to something that you are trying to achieve. This is a state of mind. Mm-hmm. Instead of sitting quietly, you are using more practical, material means. Your hands or other implements.
What if you just wrote your sigil that you're like trying to spunk on and you just wrote it right on your vibrator? You just got your little carving tool and just...
People do that. I mean, they have the rose quartz dildos.
Yeah, but you couldn't carve into rose quartz, could you?
Oh, you managed to carve a big cock out of it.
Oh, true enough.
Put something.
This is a PG-13 episode.
Well, I mean, yes, but there is this thing about the idea of witches riding broomsticks, as well.
Yeehaw!
No, but the idea is that flying ointment, consisting of things like nightshade and sort of detinies and wolfsbane, mandrake, so poisonous things to ingest, were rubbed on the broomstick, and then the broomstick was ridden. The broomstick was ridden to have contact with the old thrupply bits, the old. Yeah, and the idea of galloping around is the moving sensation that builds that euphoric feeling, but also the effects of the oils that are being absorbed,
like a spicy hot patch
body,
are spicy hot,
kind of adding to that. That's the idea of it.
What is it called?
What
is it? Spicy hot?
Spicy taco.
Oh, spicy taco. Icy hot, not spicy hot. I mean, icy it is hot. Spicy if you put it somewhere else.
Well, that's what we're talking about, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what.
The vagina. Just so we're all on the same page. Right.
We're basically children. I mean, I really hope no chaos magic practitioners are listening to this.
I really hope so as well. Really turned you all off. I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry. This is what we found. This is what we know. If you can educate us and you want to come on and be interviewed, send us a DM on Instagram.
Oh, yeah. Not only will we make mortal enemies, we'll invite them onto the show as well. That's a great idea.
We can correct some of our theories.
I mean, no, certainly. Like, I'm not... I'm trying not to be biased in that sense. But, I mean, for me, it's just that chaos magic, for me, just feels like... not doing... I don't know. It's just not the same for me. It's never been the same.
Yeah.
In that regard.
Right.
So, yeah.
So when chaos magicians are performing visualization, they use...
Gnosis.
Why?
Gnosis is that liminal point. Gnosis is something like a place of achievement that you achieve at a state of mind. So
similar to what we were talking about when you get to the spunk.
When you get to the yes, that's you really do like saying spunk, don't you?
Oh, baby.
Say it backwards. Canupsa. Oh, Canupsa. Look what I've done.
Oh, my. Right.
Anyway, so, yeah, but it's a level of kind of consciousness.
Yeah.
That many people have actually got to, especially people who, as we were saying about exercise or sex, in sports, things like that. Sports people, they call it in the zone, where you feel what's going on around you. You're in tune with everything around you.
Yeah.
You do not rely so much on your eyes or your ears. You are just a wholesome moving with full consciousness.
Yeah.
As what they call in the zone. That's the gnosis sort of thing. And it can be achieved in many ways. This isn't just the only ways of chaos magic. We're doing this purely for there are others,
Yeah.
But for instance, masturbation and exercise are just two of the more practical forms. But then again, that's what chaos magic is about. It's the practicality of magic, which is cutting through any of the other things.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
This is something I actually do like. They're trying to break through, chaos magic practitioners are trying to break through societal norms.
Gnomes?
Gnomes.
Mm-hmm. What they got against gnomes?
As patterns of religious conditioning. And I think that's really interesting. I mean, I think we're all trying to do that, to be honest with you, but I think many of us struggle, especially newer practitioners. And the environment of TikTok itself being so focused on gods and deities that it's very easy. It's a slippery slope if you have come from a religious background. Because we've talked about this before, but just the focus should be on the self mainly. Yeah. And then if you are looking to make contact with a god or deity for assistance or guidance, that should be a step you make and you take a great weight in. It shouldn't be something that you're like, oh, okay, I pick you.
Yeah. Yeah. I think in the way of societal norms, a lot of witchcraft is about that.
Yeah.
There is the whole thing of witches still today renouncing the Abrahamic God.
Right.
Just simply because it's not because you're making a pact with the devil or something else.
Look in a butthole.
But it's just but it's just simply that, it's this tether in the back of your mind almost.
Right.
That, things that you may have been raised to think are wrong. To renounce it, like actually officially renounce it in that sense, is a spiritual practice about you. It's about you dropping that forms of social norms that have been constructed by religious conditioning. And there is lots of it. There is lots of it. I just had to actually tell our daughter, because we had that Easter calendar come in. And I said, look at all these crosses. They're kids' toys. And there's crosses. There's a plush Jesus.
Oh, well, that's from Oriental trading. And Oriental trading is like super Jesus.
But she was like, well, that's all about, Easter is all about Jesus, isn't it? I looked at her in shock. I was like, really?
That's a star.
And I think she does it just to annoy me.
She doesn't.
She knows what a star is.
I mean, she does and she doesn't. I think.
She does.
I mean...
Because we've told her.
It's difficult. It's difficult when mainstream media has painted this picture that everything we know is because of Jesus. I mean, it has. It has, though. That is the societal norm.
You.
It is.
Yeah.
It's like Jesus' birthday and Jesus came back to life and Jesus is doing his best all these times. And it's like...
I want to know that if the shepherds were out tending their flocks on his birthday, why was it in the middle of December? Because even in the Middle East, shepherds wouldn't be out tending their flocks in the middle of winter at night. It's far too
fucking cold, man.
It's too cold. They're not out that time of day. It does, everything is just, it's fit because certain beliefs, certain ceremonies, holidays, if you like, even then, were so widely practiced and cherished that the church had no use but to simply incorporate it. Yeah. So that people would slowly kind of soften to the idea.
Back when I was a rowdy kid, this is totally off topic, but back when I Back when I was a rowdy kid, I took the train into Chicago one day with my friend, and we went to this, like, I don't know, it was like a cool skater type shop with like stickers and t-shirts and like band tees and like records and stuff like that, CDs. And I got a shirt that said hang out at something, I think, oh gosh, I can't remember the name. It's something alley, and it had Jesus on it hanging on the cross.
What?
So it said like it's a joke, like it's a joke shirt, hang out at something alley,
Cross
and
alley,
Jesus on the cross, like he's hanging out. Did you get it?
I got it.
Okay. Anyway, so I went to school, and then I went to hang out with one of my friends, and his mom was uber religious, and she did not get it as a joke. She didn't I don't think she read it properly. She's like, Amanda, you're my girl. That's my girl promoting Jesus.
She didn't get it. She was just like,
God loves it. Do you want to have a prayer together? Do you want to pray together? I'm like, I'm really okay. I don't think you got this. This is now an awkward situation for me. Yeah. So I learned not to wear that shirt to friends' houses.
Yeah, that could be misinterpreted.
You really could have. Oh, boy.
Christians aren't known for their lateral thinking, my dear.
I was just like, oh gosh. Oh boy. And there started my slippery slope out of religion.
Oh yes. But that's all part of it. See, that's
Oh dear. Anyway.
Yeah.
I hope no Christian witches are listening to this. They're gonna be like, what?
Let's see if we can piss everyone off.
How many people? Who else? Who else wants to come on and yell at us? How
about the Wiccans? We haven't had a pop at you lot yet. Come on.
Oh boy. So another. Let's get back to topic, honey.
All right.
Another important point is never using the same pattern twice to conjure, which isn't that just an important point in sigil work?
Well, no, that's
general?
because that's something I taught you, because I do. I actually do that.
Yeah.
Because to be honest, when it comes to sigil work, there are many different ways, and none of them are wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Right. However, I do like the idea of not using the same sigil.
Mm-hmm.
It fits. For instance, if I was to take this deck of cards and I shuffle them, the chances of this deck of cards being exactly that sequence, even though there's only this many cards, is so unlikely it's probably never happened before.
Yeah.
Regardless of all the tarot cards that have ever been shuffled.
Right.
Did you know that?
No.
It works the same when it comes to the sigil. The sigil is the creation, and there is only one, and so therefore if you don't copy it, for instance, when people commission me to do sigil work, I send them the sigil.
Yeah.
What I do is I charge the sigil, I don't wank on it. Just
premium,
for clarification.
100% Elwyn Spunk.
I like this sigil, but what's all this stuff on it? No. Is it glazed? Did you laminate it? No. Sorry.
No.
Most unprofessional. No. So
that's extra.
I do. Oh no. No. But then once they've received it and they've got it, I burn the original. Not only is burning a sigil a way of activating it, also in chaos magic, but they also have the only remaining thing of it, which means there is a direct link to that which they own, they obtain, and what I have done. And I think that's important.
What can you use sigils for?
Everything.
Oh.
Everything.
Like if I wanted, what do I even want?
They're like the Infinity Stones.
Oh, really?
No,
like the big really. Purple guy?
Yes. Yes, Barney. Yes, just like
Barney. Oh, okay. What did I want? Okay, let me think. Okay. If I wanted to get more sleep at night, do I draw a sigil on my children's heads?
No.
Is that what
Why
I
do
do?
you draw it in their heads?
For them to sleep so I can sleep at night. Because
You can
I
just
don't
do a
have the
sleep
problem.
Yeah, but
They
you
do.
see, this is the thing. This is the thing with Magick. You just asked. You just want more rest. You want to sleep more.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So therefore, you do a spell or you do a sigil that says, "I want to sleep more.
Yeah.
I want more opportunity to sleep."
Yes.
2 days later, you're driving your car. Bang! Lorry comes along. You're in a coma.
I mean,
You got exactly what you asked. This is why you
doesn't
have to
sound
be.
bad.
You have to be concise.
Sounds bad for you, not for me.
Doesn't sound bad. Yeah. Don't you worry. I'll be like, that's a cow. Bitch. She's not getting away with this. And I'd like
wake her ass
put
up.
myself in a medically induced one. Like, no, but see, you must be concise, but try to keep it very straightforward.
Yeah.
So it's simple to do, especially if it's a sigil.
So the magic will work as it may.
Magic will take the easiest route, and if the
Yeah.
easiest route is for you to go into a coma, which
Damn.
probably is the case than just moving around all these things
Yeah.
with kids and stuff, then that's what would happen.
Okay, so you're telling me definitely draw sigils on the kids' heads.
No.
Oh, okay, good. All right.
No.
I'm glad we're on the same
Just
page.
keep giving them the sleep gummies.
Melatonin them up.
Yeah.
We don't do that, though.
We do.
We don't do that, though.
We give them melatonin gummies.
No, we don't.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
We don't do that, though,
You
do
can buy
we?
them at the store.
Babe, we don't do that, though.
Why are you giving me those eyes? Why can't we give our children sleep gummies?
Because we don't do that, do we?
Well, you're obviously going to edit this bit out. Why don't you just tell me? Why can't we do that? Why is that a bad thing to say?
Can you talk into your mic, please?
Why is that a bad thing to
It's
say?
like you're always like this, or like this, or this.
We don't do it all the time. We don't like pop them to them, but occasionally if they're having a rough
Because
time, we
if
give
there's
them a
ever
melatonin gummy.
Yeah, but if there's ever somebody, it'll sound like we drug them or something. I just don't want that on record.
We don't give our kids melatonin.
Thanks.
Give them brandy.
Oh, great. Wonderful. So last point of chaos magic from our very brief research of 20 minutes before we started this podcast. Whatever goes, essentially. You can change your beliefs about everything all the time.
Imagine, if you would,
Mm-hmm.
atheists who decided, I want to do magic. It's pretty much chaos magic.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. There. The void. That's all it is.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, you can surely change your beliefs about anything all the time anyway.
Yeah.
I guess, oop, jeez, I'm going to knock my microphone out of my hand. I guess what I'm concerned with about chaos magic is it just feels...
Lazy.
Not lazy.
I thought you... I don't think that, for the record.
It just feels like... Let me get my words together.
Okay. It's all
It
right.
feels like an amalgamation
Yeah.
of little bits of everything, and like they just threw them all together, and they're like, we're gonna call this chaos.
Witchcraft stew.
Witchcraft stew.
They should have called it that. Witch stew.
Witch stew.
Mm.
I don't know. I think there's some very interesting points, but the interesting points are also points that are in like other practices of witchcraft. So it's like, there you have it.
I mean, there's nothing technically wrong with that. I believe they call that eclectic witchcraft.
Eclectic witchcraft. Yeah. So I enjoy chaos. I would like to talk to a chaos magician because I feel like there's something we're missing. When I read through what chaos magic is, I'm like, this can't be it, can it?
Yes.
Surely.
No, definitely. There's a lot more to it.
Yeah.
But the thing is each chaos magician kind of comes up with their own.
That's true, because
thing
it's
of
just
that's the
whatever
point of it.
goes. I guess so, yeah. Maybe that's what I'm missing.
There
I
are
just gotta
some
think
like
bigger.
understood things that are generically just about chaos magic, but apart from that, the rest is...
My Virgo rising really appreciates rules and boundaries, so it just is just like, I just want to know what it is. I just need a clear definition. There's not one. The chaos. The chaos.
You like a bit of chaos.
I do. Controlled chaos, where I'm in control. So we have some book recommendations.
Yes.
They are Condensed Chaos by Phil Hine and The Masterworks of Chaos Magic by Adam Blackthorne.
Mm-hmm.
We have not read these books. We're not going to read those books, probably. But if you want to, that is your prerogative, ma'am.
Apparently these are the good ones.
Yes, these are the ones. I think Phil Hine is like one of the like leaders in Chaos Magic too, from what I remember. So
well, now we've managed to piss him off as well.
Fuck. We're doing a great job today. Episode 3 the podcast is going swimmingly. Like, we can't edit shit for shit, and we're blundering through it. I hope you guys are enjoying it. It's beautiful. I have some great titles for this. I'm excited to share.
I know what it is. It's beatniks, isn't it?
It might be. Yeah. So you can find us on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook as The Antlered Crown, or on YouTube as Elwyn the Witch.
I offer a variety of readings, including, I don't know.
You don't know?
I offer it.
What?
I offer a variety of readings, including bone, tarot, medium connection, deity confirmation, as well as spiritual consultations, which are done live and scheduled via Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
I am also offering spellwork and custom merchandise, all of which you can find on my website, theantleredcrown.com.
Yes. And we're going to pause it right there so I can see who our patron shout-out is, because I didn't pull it up.
We're not doing this. Isn't going to be a good one, is it?
I mean, it's only 40 minutes long. So.
I feel we just pissed off the whole of Chaos Magic community, to be honest.
You're like, what is this even? Hey, podcasts are about opinions.
Hey, it's mainly teenagers, so it should be perfectly fine.
I mean, let's see. Oh, that's not what I want to do. Can you press that button while I press this button? I can't reach it far.
Press what button?
This one. Can you look what I'm doing? Thanks.
This one?
Yep. Ready?
Yeah.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Press it again. Okay, that's not what I meant to do, but we'll go with it. Okay, ready? You can also join our community on Patreon and get access to our Discord server, group meetings, one-on-ones with L1 tutorials, discounts, and other goodies depending on your tier level you choose.
Yes. Speaking of which, here is our Antlered Crown patron shout out.
What? What is it funny?
I completely zoned out when you were talking. It was just like, there was this like long pause, and I just went, yeah, oh, yeah. I have to say something. Yes. Oh, I'm so sorry. Right, so here's the patron shout out.
Fucking hell. Alexa Dorkable.
Matilda Ulf. We shouldn't use their last names.
No, you shouldn't. Why did you do that?
You did.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Alexa Dorkable.
You did it again.
Adorkable isn't her last name, clearly.
It might be.
No.
All right.
1, 2, 3. Alexa Dorkable.
Matilda.
Ash.
Bronwyn.
John the Medic.
Tara.
Lore.
Amanda.
I think that's it. Jennifer Beasley, I think, was here last time. But hi, Jennifer.
Said the last bloody name again.
Try it again.
Fucking hell. All right.
1,
ready?
2, 3. Alexa.
Matilda.
Ash.
You did it again.
Ash.
You didn't say the last name that time.
Yeah, it's fine.
Right, okay. Do it again. Ready?
1, 2, 3. Alexa.
Matilda.
Ash.
Bronwyn.
John the Medic.
Tara.
Lore.
Amanda.
Jennifer.
Alexis.
I think that's it.
All right.
No, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
I think so.
Good.
So next time we're going to actually be talking to a very special guest.
Yes, we are.
And he is very popular on TikTok and Instagram. We were very excited to have him on.
Yes.
And...
What? Are you going to say it?
No.
No.
You're
not.
But he lives in Texas. There's your hint.
Well, don't tell everyone where he lives.
Well,
You're not supposed to go around doing
and
things
always
like that.
remember...
Tip your witch, bitch.
Bye-bye.
Bye.